and what are the ethical implications,
Right.
right? Of essentially taking the kill, potentially taking the kill order away from a person
Right.
and putting it into a machine. I mean, there's a part of me that gets really excited about this because when a sniper, for example, when a sniper sits on a perch with their rangefinder, right,
Hmm.
their partner, the choice to shoot or not shoot, the lethal decision essentially comes down to a radio call
Hmm.
and a system of backup communication strategies in case the radio call isn't answered, right? So the inefficiency of that is mind-boggling because
Mm.
you have a human being who has to confirm with another human being who has to make a radio call with a third human being, and all of that can be penetrated by adversarial SIGINT. All of that can be lost in an instant, right? Like a target can present itself getting out of a car and then getting into another car, and then boom, the opportunity is lost.
Hmm.
If you could automate that into a single AI device that basically has all of the rules of law or all of the rules, the laws of war in a single index,
Hmm.
it can almost instantaneously make a decision and then fire with perfect control and perfect accuracy. And even if the weapon was left behind,
Hmm.
the risk of loss of life is almost nothing because there's no sniper on site. There's no rangefinder on site. There's no human being on site. You could basically perch a weapon there to just sit there for months,
Hmm.
and it would even be able to do its own self checks to make sure that it doesn't have any maintenance issues. Like the future of what combat could look like is mind boggling.
Yeah, it's interesting because, like you were saying, if you could upload all the laws of war, right? You would also have to upload all these algorithms to help the machine make a decision. So in advance, somebody would have to decide what level of collateral is acceptable, right? So if
Mm.
it's a human being and they spot, if it's a human being flying a drone, which is still human being controlled, and they spot their target, but they identify that their like family of 5 children is in the car with them, they can make the call right then and there, to wave off or to go ahead and accept that level of collateral. Somebody in advance, if you're programming a machine, is going to have to decide what level of collateral is acceptable. And collateral meaning human life, non-combatants, infrastructure. If it's a hospital, is it, if it's a hospital, but it's been converted into the headquarters of, a terrorist organization or a military, squadron, like, you know, though how it becomes complex, right? And I don't know that human beings are great. I mean, just think about the regulatory aspects of creating autonomous weapons. We're not even close to being there. These weapons exist, and there's barely a conversation happening besides people saying we should be really careful, but no laws have been passed. Like, nothing's been regulated. So they'll start being used before any of that happens. And so it does create these ethical dilemmas, on the one hand, but then on the other hand, people are saying they could save soldiers' lives.
Yep.
But then if you have
So I
machine
mean,
against machine, what's the point?
just look at what's happening in Ukraine, right? So Ukraine is the first war, the first military conflict, hot conflict
Hmm.
in history to basically see this combination of trench warfare from World War One
Hmm.
and this completely experimental new drone-based warfare, which is very unique to the Ukraine conflict.
Hmm.
And the drone capabilities that have been innovated in the last 2 years, I mean, they weren't pulled out of the halls of R&D.
Hmm.
They were literally born in the battlefield.
Yeah.
Taking a DJI Chinese drone built for commercial uses and then outfitting it with like a little grenade and a
Hmm.
pin that could be pulled while keeping the weight and balance of the drone the same so that you could deliver lethal weapons
Hmm.
into and behind the trench line.
Yeah.
Like this is something that nobody I don't think anybody was invested. I can't see Northrop Grumman investing in this
Yeah.
back in 2021. But now all of a sudden it's here and it's present and it really does kind of give us a sense of what the future of warfare is going to look like. And you hear the reports from the Foreign Legion, you hear the reports from Ukrainian soldiers, you see the reports reported on Russian media, like the constant hum of invisible drones basically buzzing around at night. I mean, it's and the people created it. There's the Ukrainians creating the drones, the Chinese are creating the drones, there are Russian drones, there are Turkish drones. Holy smokes. It's a completely new era of conflict. It'll never look the way it looked before, because we were the first ones to outfit a UAV with lethal capability during the global war on terror, right? When we started mounting missiles to, I think it was, what was the drone? The Predator drone? We started mounting air-to-ground missiles on UAVs. But those were still basically airplanes, right? Mm-hmm. They're huge. We're talking about pocket drones that you could carry in a backpack right now. So, the world is such an interesting place. And my biggest fear, to be very honest, is what happens when the hot war ends. Do we start seeing these backcountry, homegrown lethal drones become a tool for terrorists?
Exactly.
A tool for regional conflicts,
right.
A tool for border disputes. Like, holy cannoli, this is crazy.
Yeah. So just like you said, I mean, watching the battleground innovation has been amazing. But then it does lead to the question of, what does the future of all of this look like? Because it's not just state actors who are going to pick up on the technology. I mean, drones aren't a military technology. They're used by lots of people all over the world. And the fact that they can be innovated to be a weapon, it's a scary thought that, and the idea that, if you take down one of these, if you have an autonomous weapon and it's taken down, suddenly your adversary has that technology, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not like if you kill a soldier, that soldier's dead. You're getting nothing from them. But you take down a machine, that's yours now. All that technology, right?
The intel value, the intel calculation is unbelievable. Yeah. Because, you and I both participated in the global war on terror. Mm-hmm. So we have been up close and personal with the question of collateral damage. Man, I can't tell you how many times I have watched the heat signature of a group of terrorists coming in and out of a vehicle, in and out of a house, in and out of a cave. And we couldn't make a lethal decision in real time because we weren't quite sure who was the thermal signature that we were watching.
Yeah. Was the target actually there and worth the collateral damage that was around him? Yeah.
Exactly. Like it could be the head of that terrorist cell, or it could be his brother and he's inside the cave, or it could be that this is his entire family and they're all non-combatants.
Yep.
But we don't know for sure. The intel is mixed. We don't have high confidence, and the best eyes that we have in the sky are thermal or IR. Mm-hmm. And that's a hard place to be. If you like this short clip, make sure you click here to see the next clip, or here to see the full podcast episode.
Freedom! So fresh, so new.